It's Coffee Talk with Adika. Nothing rhymes with that but chicken tikka. We name drop here with Stefan and all his friends.
No, you can't change. You can change the name. Get out of here. I'm leaving.
All right, there it is. Oh wait, hold on a second, guys. Hold on, I got emergency phone call. Hold on, Dr. G. Welcome.
I don't know who it could be.
Okay, welcome this morning. Hold on.
Hi, everybody.
I'll be right back. Talk to everybody for a second.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Hey.
We're still on the air, apparently. Yeah, that was, Corey, I'm signing out of here, That's kind of awesome.
What the hell just happened? Hang on, my stupid camera did something stupid. Why?
I'm not a dicka. Morning, Corey.
Good morning, Doc.
How you feeling today?
Stefan just got a new tool for his in his arsenal. He can actually change the people's names
at will.
At will.
Do me a favor, you guys. Talk 1 second while I help Matt Nelson out here for 1 second. So, do a little this and that. Talk some medical stuff. It is Coffee Talk. I got him on the phone. Hold on a second, guys. Good morning, Tracy, Paul, VTech, Gloria. I'm doing this for you, baby. Corey Leviton. Yeah, you're an asshole. I'll be right back.
Hey.
Well, it's Friday, everybody.
I'm looking at some of the comments out there. It's good to see you. Thank you, everybody, for welcoming me as part of the family on Friday mornings. So I'm glad you guys are checking in at Middle Path Medicine and seeing some of the newsletters about, hey, there's things we can do about this virus. It's not a death sentence. It's something that I wish you wouldn't get and didn't have to face, but here we are and we're having to face it. So there's lots of things that you can do to prevent it and treat it should you get it. So we have all kinds of things. I have to apologize to everybody. I've written 10 articles. It gets to be a little bit cumbersome to look through them all, but the latest one I just looked at in terms of, here are the two things I really think. There's this acute viral protocol and the use of short-term dexamethasone, which is a steroid medicine, should you have severe coronavirus, meaning high fevers and the rest of those things, not asymptomatic coronavirus, which you wouldn't take those things. And so, but there are things you can do to dramatically change the course of the illness. Everybody should need to know about it because, again, statistically, over the next year and a half, we're probably going to get exposed. So, Corey, you have any questions today or any guys? Well, no, I don't want to get it either, but
we've all probably been exposed. The question is viral load. And I'm hoping, that you need to be in some place with somebody for a specific amount of time, that just a few molecules ain't going to do it.
Right. I agree. Because, as all week long, this is obviously some of the conversations I have with my patients. This guy had given up golfing. And I said, why are you giving up golfing? And, nobody wears masks. I go, most of the times, maybe on the green, I'm not much of a golfer, everybody, but maybe on the green, you should wear a mask. And even if they call you names or whatever else, we're all grown-ass people. We should be, if they call you names for wearing a mask, you should just get over it and go out and golf, because you're not going to catch it on the...
Punch him.
What's that? Or punch. That was actually not part of the advice, just in case you're wondering. Is like, oh no, you could just slam him.
Punch him.
But get out there and golf, and bring a mask with you and have a little hand. Wherever I go, I have my mask and my hand sanitizer. If I'm out in the open, I don't wear a mask. There's no reason to. Are we going to be catching this on the beaches? No. I mean, if you're doing beach blanket bingo or something maybe, but it's get out, everybody. There has to be some degree of normalization where, we're getting out and doing our activities just because of the psychological effects of the quarantine and things. And so, not that most people are quarantined these days. That's the whole point, is get out there. The new normal for the while is going to be wearing the mask and social distancing when you can, and all those other things, and it will help you, because what Corey's talking about is viral load, people. And I've mentioned it too before, which is the amount that you get inoculated with will have a dramatic effect on how severe the illness will be. So just minimize your exposure. Even if your friends aren't wearing masks, that they have to be allowed to do their own thing. Now, if there's a local mask mandate and they're breaking it, then we'll leave it up to law enforcement what they want to do about it. But it really does come down to is you have to protect yourself. Try to stand in a place where we can protect the people who don't want to protect themselves.
I got chided this week. I was at an estate sale because I still need to generate some income on the side. And the woman who was running the estate sale, she had nothing to do with the family. It was a professional organization. She wasn't wearing a mask when she was checking people out. And I went full on Corey with my face shield and my N95 and my rubber gloves. And she goes, we're scared, aren't we? And I thought, okay, well, this is somebody who's deciding on the prices of the books I'm about to check out. So I didn't say a word. And I didn't say a word. I made the transaction. She gave me low prices. And then I turned around like Columbo at the end. And I said, I look forward to your estate sale.
Ooh. Damn.
Oh man!
Wow.
The timing was important for that one. That was good.
Ooh.
And so get the deals first. I agree. And then but yeah,
like
people
that.
are funny because the fear is being generated by the people to tell you not to wear the mask because supposedly if you wear a mask you're afraid when you're just actually. Sorry, people, stupid if you don't wear a mask, and you're smart if you wear it. And somehow being intelligent in our society has been equated to fear or something. It's again bumfuzzling to me. And so so no, it's just intelligence and it's respectful. What the woman was doing was disrespectful. What Corey was doing was respectful.
Right.
Up until that point about up until that point of the estate sale, I should actually clarify that a little bit. That one I can't call respectful, but that's the whole point where you talk about
funny.
anytime you use humor always has to have some edge to it to be funny, and so and you're probably going to offend somebody, and so anyways, but yeah, I'm glad. So and even though we're out there, people, just let's try to stick together. This very simple thing of wearing a mask and social distancing will help dramatically decrease the viral load should we be exposed to it. Please, if you're in with a family setting, please wear your masks around because you're probably going to catch it from a friend or family member, unless you're in some large concert setting or whatever else, which hopefully won't exist for a while. And so,
and if you get less of it, if you get less of viral load, aren't you going to get a less severe case?
Absolutely. Yes, that's exactly the point. And that's why they've shown that social distancing works. And I have several articles on that showing the models that it works, showing that it actually works. Every single scientific study shows that the masks work. And so it is again surprising to me, but we do have some nefarious elements within the medical profession as well. The demon seed lady from Houston, I think it was, and whoever these doctors are doing the things to the people, the immigrants. I mean, so there are some not so nice doctors in the world as well, and they're willing to go out and stand with the stance of the groups that are trying to mislead you. I'm trying to say this as nice as possible.
It's the Adika show. You don't worry about it. Hey, I got an emergency, you guys. Really a problem. Gloria, who's watching, I'm sorry. Listen, I gotta help my kid get ready for school, so I'm gonna have a friend of mine to help out. Take Adika's place for a little while. All right.
Oh, Gloria set this up. Cool.
No. This is a really tough one, and you guys. Hold on. I'm going to put you backstage. Just stop. Hold that thought, Corey. You got a good memory. Let me test to make sure everything's good, okay? Hold on, Oive. I'm sorry, Doc. Hold on. Let's just make sure you could do this gig, Matt. Just don't screw it up, okay? Help me out here, okay? You hear okay?
I can hear you on my phone, but I'm not hearing you on my headphones. So
you don't hear me on the headphones? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
But can you hear me at all or no?
I hear you fine. You fine. Let's see. Hold on. If you go in, you can hear the other guys jibber jabber.
I can't hear them. No.
Oh, you can hear them. Okay, let's test them out for a second. Hold on, Dr. G. Matt Nelson, right?
Yeah, we met.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Can you hear him now or no? You can't hear him now, Matt.
Can you hear me now?
If he can hear me at all. Can you hear me?
No.
I can hear you.
You hear me? Okay. Well, I'm just coming off my phone, so this thing isn't working so well. But I can do this interview like this.
Can you take the headphones out and let's see if it works?
Let's try this.
Let's try that for a second.
All right. Is that working at all any better?
I hear you. Do you hear us, Doctor?
I can hear both of you guys. Yeah.
I can
no
hear
echo? No echo, Matt?
No echo at all.
Okay, you're hired. Hey, Matt.
Yeah, you just have to turn down the volume. It's an amazing thing.
This is great. Dr. G, you remember Matthew? And what are we talking about right now, Dr. G?
We were just kind of bullshitting a little bit earlier. We were just talking about the coronaviruses and masks and things like that, but some of the usual suspects in terms of what things to do. We also brought up the thing that there's, the use. We just did an article and showing again, it's preliminary evidence, but there's so much use to the higher dose vitamin D, this viral protocol we've talked about, along with using low dose. I say fairly low dose from a doctor perspective, the dexamethasone and things. We absolutely, even if we get the virus, we have to look at this like, listen, it's not a no hope thing. I hope nobody gets it, but people are going to. So what's going to happen if we get it? And the answer is,
hold on, you're like a doctor. You already got me. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to start the show over because we got all the technical stuff over. That was a sound check.
Okay.
Testing 1 2 1 2. Now we're going to
do a good sound check too.
That was a great sound check. The doctor. Testicles 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Okay, now let's go backstage and we're going to start the show all over with the credits running and all that good stuff. This is make believe it's 7:45. Everybody watching, welcome to Coffee Talk. We love you, and the show is about to begin now.
It's Coffee Talk with Adika. Nothing rhymes with that but chicken tikka. We name drop here with Stephen and all his friends.
Here we are, Matt. I'm Stefan. You're Matt. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Stefan. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good
Actually,
morning.
good to see you at all. Last time I couldn't get on the video, so I'm glad I'm here.
We're here. You and I are here, and you know what else? It's our show today. You and I, we're going to spend till 9 o'clock. We got a good morning. We got the doctor. Hopefully, we got the legendary Jack Douglas here. But most important, I got my new co-host, Matt Nelson. So, Matt, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Let's go
good
check
to be here. I even have my coffee this time.
Let's see. What are you drinking this morning?
Amazing.
Let's talk about it.
I know this is not a Swedish enjoyment device. This is actually a press that I use every morning that turns into a thermos. This is a road trip savior that is by a company called S-Pro, and they didn't give it to me. I bought this. But isn't this cool?
That is cool.
So there's my coffee, my thermos coffee.
So you got a French press on the road, Matt.
Oh man. Well, I am not adverse to Mapco coffee or Quick Star or whatever. I mean, we've all had that, but if you have a chance to have a civilized cup of coffee once a day, life is good. I have a cousin of mine that's a Marine, and he was in Fallujah and stuff like that. And he brought something like this into battle with his troops because he was a lieutenant. He was in charge of those guys, and God bless, he got them all back home. But they all ground up their beans every day before going into battle and had some good coffee. So
that's pretty cool.
What he said. Start your day with good coffee. So I'm listening.
You do got to start your day with good coffee and good people. So good top of the morning to you, my friend. Good morning.
Top of the morning to you.
And let's see, we got a couple of people in here. You know who has new coffee? You know drummer Kenny Aronoff? You know Kenny?
First of all, Kenny must like chew the beans because he has got energy like nobody's business. And Kenny Aronoff is a twin. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't know that.
He's identical twin, and you got to ask him this question because he pulled a prank. I think it was on Mellencamp's band or something like that. They had a rehearsal for a big TV show, and he had his twin brother dress like him and show up, and his drummer can't play crap on the drums, okay, like at all. He's not musical, and sat in, and they started out, and the band's like, what's going on with Kenny? Is he having a stroke? It was pretty funny. So
wait a second. He was just on the show, and I had him, and he might have told me that he had a twin, and I'm forgetful, and he might have said it, but I don't recall. But that's pretty wild. Maybe he did
Kenny.
say it.
We played a gig with him about a year ago for Jeff Skunk Baxter from the Doobie Brothers, and Steely Dan. He had his birthday. Was he 60 or 70? I'm not sure. All I know is that we played with Kenny on the drums next to Slim Jim Phantom from Stray Cats. So we had two drummers and the great James Burton, who played with Elvis and my dad, and Gunnar and myself. And that was kind of, and of course, Baxter. And that was kind of the band for a couple segments. So it was my fantasy drummers were behind me. It was pretty great.
No, that is great. You know, it's fun. I just spoke to Slim yesterday, and he called me up very sad. And but now I could break the news because he called me up and because he posted it. So Slim goes, "Oh man," he calls me Skipjack because one time we did a gig and I forgot his name on stage. I called him Skipjack. He goes, so I'm out of my mind. So he goes to me, "Oh, Skipjack, I really did it this time." I go, "What?" I forgot to tell people I got married. And I posted it on Instagram. I go, you got married? You didn't invite me? He goes, I forgot. I go, you tell the guys in the band? He goes, no, I forgot. I did it on Zoom and the license was going to. So congratulations to Slim Jim. But
congratulations to both of them. I love her. She's great. And they're
Jenny,
a really fun couple together. You know?
So he's very sad. But Jim, don't worry. John and Yoko didn't have anybody at their wedding. So it was small and simple. And don't worry about it, Jim. We love you. And, you know.
It's cool because we talked about actually doing a little band after that gig with him. I would move over from bass to acoustic guitar, and his wife would play the bass, and Baxter and Burton, and just kind of doing a little one-off rockabilly album. And we'll see what happens. Maybe we can do it now. We got time.
That's cool. She's a rock star. She is awesome. She's awesome. Okay, we're gonna go here. We'll go a little to the audience really quick. This one's for you, Gloria. Gloria, I'm okay, she writes, but Gloria is very excited to be here. Big fan of the Nelsons, and she loved. I saw the cameo that you did. It was beautiful. She put it out there, and you sing After the Rain. So, Gloria, we're glad you're here with us. Let's bring the rest of the guys. Look at them; they're all sad in the back. We got Ireland in the house. Donnell, all right. Thank you for being here, and we got the beautiful. Reverend Jenny's here, and Debbie there. She's all happy for Gloria. We have a show. Supposedly we got Matthew, we got Dr. G. You have a birthday coming up really quick.
I do. Yes, September 20th, Sunday. And that means that Gunnar is having a birthday too.
Two birthdays.
Yes, thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
We're celebrating it together. We, because of weird events, we didn't get a chance to celebrate our 50th birthday together. So we're going to basically celebrate our 50th birthday until we die every year. And this time we're actually going to play. We're going to actually do a concert online, which is kind of fun. I don't know if you have the info there because I don't have the specific.
Boom, right there.
There it is.
That's it.
And I think all the bands that are out there that are really missing touring and missing our fans, because we always say we're in the connection business. And I'm glad we're connected here on Coffee Talk, but we really want to play badly. And this is kind of almost a beta test for us with a company that we found that seems to have it together with the live performance thing. And we're selling a certain amount of tickets and then they're gone. And we're not going to be rebroadcasting like on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. This is just like a one-time only thing. And we're going to take requests and talk to fans and, play for a while and celebrate our birthday.
That's awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
Awesome. Oh, there's the ticker for it, and that's where they get all the information right there. We go to www.meathawk.live/Nelson1. It's funny, when I got the hyperlink, it had HTTP. Who does that now? You just put in Meathook Live/Nelson1.
I know for some reason they said that the www is crucial to finding us.
Really?
Which is weird. But I guess go old school.
Old school.
We are. So there you go.
Remember old school when you'd first look up something, how complicated it was? You didn't copy and paste. It would take you forever to write it.
Look, all I know is my first computer had a 500 megabyte hard drive, and I was a badass. Okay, that was awesome. State of the art, black and white little Macintosh thing that cost $1 cajillion. They're still expensive, but we take a lot for granted. But I still am glad that I grew up at a time before cell phones, before the internet, all that kind of stuff, because frankly, I think our generation, a little bit older than, the 20 somethings, we tend to have a little more perspective and can call, BS when it's time to call BS on stuff.
Yeah. And here's a poster too, right here. I got this good stuff. So there's the birthday celebration. It's a virtual birthday, one night only. Look at how happy they are. Man, Gunnar Nelson.
Gunnar looks happier than me.
He looks happier, huh? I see his cat.
He definitely had a little more coffee than I did that morning. Yeah.
He looks good. Wait a second. Is Gunnar in the studio? What's this I see here? Hold on a second.
Hey, brother. Happy birthday to us.
What are you doing? Corey Levin.
A lot of people think that identical twins look alike throughout their lives. That's not true, is it?
Gunnar's looking better these days. I don't know what's happening, but he's looking better than he ever has. It's awesome.
You look at the nice. I got Corey. You got a nice shirt there. I got Five from Circus. You're looking good. Welcome to the show.
Don't make me take my teeth out in front of Matthew, please.
Oh, hold on a second. Do you know about this?
What's this now?
Hold on. Let me get the doctor. I'm going to bring all the guests in here really quick. We got the fabulous Dr. G, and we got the fabulous Oive. Sorry about disrupting the medical show in the morning. We had a little.
No worries.
A live show. It's all good. but Matthew's helping out today. He has a birthday party. When is your actual birthday, Matthew?
It's on 20th.
That's the actual day. That's the real day. Okay.
Yep,
okay.
We're doing it on our birthday.
That's on the birthday. That's cool. Don't invite Slim Jim. He didn't invite you to the wedding.
Well, I'm going to invite him to my birthday. So, it's okay. Well, I have a feeling we're going to see them again, and maybe they were a little busy, so that's okay. They're really an adorable couple. God bless. I wish them nothing but the best.
No,
He's such a sweet man. So,
yeah. He's a wonderful guy. We love you, Slim Jim. Now, we had Corey on the show yesterday. Corey's doing a Patreon account, and I don't know if you're familiar. You have Cameo, Matt, right?
Yes.
And also for people that they want to get you on Cameo, how can they find you over there?
Well, just look at Bass and Vox. Bass like the guitar, N is my last name, and Vox, VOX like vocal. So Bass and Vox, and you'll find me.
That's right there.
Just don't type in Gunner, because then
go to Gunner.
All the fun.
That's right. So Corey over here, he's my Gunner, Nelson. He's like my brother.
It's like looking in the mirror, Matt.
Yeah, I know. Look at that. It's amazing.
It's like looking in the mirror. But I know how to tell you guys apart. This is how. Corey, I'm going to tell you how. Corey, I want you to smile and show your real tooth, because your tooth doesn't match up to his. Show Matthew your real tooth.
Does he have an angry tooth?
Right here.
See, I like that.
Nice.
Well, definitely Matthew's a better
He made that. He made that.
Yeah.
My teeth are falling apart.
Now, Corey did not go to the dentist for that. That's homemade, man. He went to Amazon for $30, and he made his own tooth.
You're making that up.
Nope.
No.
Even the dentist.
Dr. G, hold on.
Flabbergasted. It cost me $30. He wanted to charge me $800.
Wait, hold on. Leave out your teeth. Leave out your teeth for the interview. You're a very handsome and attractive, powerful man.
Oh, wow.
So is that a remnant from your days in baby pageants with your flipper? Is that what that is?
It's a flipper. Well, yeah, it's a homemade flipper.
Yeah.
You look like a wino.
So he looks like a
Look,
You look like a
I
wino.
think that it's
It's all scruffy.
appropriate. Okay.
I learned so much from Corey.
Right there. That's cool. Leave it out.
Now look at Dr. G. Hold
Corey,
on.
tell him the story. Tell him the story.
Yeah.
Hold on, gentlemen. Dr. G is very shocked. He's a doctor. He went to school for this. And Dr. G, let me see your face for a second.
I learned so much from Corey, because I didn't know anybody used Nair in their nose until him. I didn't know you could buy stuff like that on Amazon. I sincerely did not. So wow.
$30.
I'd love to know how it came about. And wow. I am. Corey, I didn't think you could surprise me, but you did.
Poor Matthew.
Look, I don't have any health problems. My teeth are falling apart. I'm thankful. That's all it is.
No, you look good. Corey. You look good. Matthew just deleted my number from his Rolodex. That's after the show. But
not at all. This is great.
I love it. Let's get down to business here. I interrupted the doctor show. I was trying to get Matt on here. Matt, thank you so much for coming here, spending the morning with us, talking. Having a birthday.
And first of all, Doctor, it's nice talking to you. Sorry I interrupted your bit. I kind of want to hear what's going on.
Let's take it away. Let's go back there really quick. Come on, Doctor. Take us back to medical world right now.
It's much more fun to talk about Matt's birthday and shit like that as compared to this coronavirus thing.
I know
my stuff is. It's like I was thinking about that this morning. It's like, come on, and everybody's like, Dr. G is so freaking depressing, and so.
But you're not.
But part of what we were talking about, everybody, was just that there is hope with it. Even if you get this virus, there are treatments. The last article, I really focused on just very simple things you can do. This acute viral protocol, which I'm really sincerely will help you should you get this virus or the influenza virus, which is where it came from. And it's just a combination of D, C, and this anti-herbal combination called Virusid or Wellness Formula. But the other nice, I think, really, as research has come along, even more so than the plasma therapies, even more so than this remdesivir, which is a very expensive IV drug, the use of dexamethasone in a very simple regimen. It's listed on the article. I've already had patients asking me to keep some on hand should I get when I say severe coronavirus infection, meaning documented coronavirus infection with fever, anything that becomes symptomatic. There's wonderful things you can do to change the course of the illness so it doesn't have to be so severe. So yes, we are making advances in therapy. That's part of the point of trying to do some prevention, is coming up with adequate therapies so that even if we get the virus, because everybody's so afraid of getting it that we're trying to, I think they've changed their lives too much. Yes, I recommend social distancing, as everybody knows. Yes, I recommend the mask, as everybody knows. However, I want them to get out there into the world using those parameters, of course, as far as that goes, and then know that if you get this, because people get a lot of things. You get diabetes, you can treat it. You get other things, you can treat it. So we don't have to turn this thing into some mythological, I get it and I'm doomed, which because it's a really interesting world where some people think it's a hoax and some people think if you get it, you're doomed. And it's just not either one of those. It's something we can treat. So, definitely everybody, there's hope. We have articles on this and all. Yes. And in the meanwhile, use some basic public health measures until we know more of what to do.
Good. That's good stuff. What do you think, Matt? Do you have any questions for the doc?
First of all, I think that's really great news for everybody, because the thing that I've seen here in Tennessee is it depends on which county you live in, how people are approaching this. Now, I'm personally on the side that is following the data that shows me that the mortality rate is staying static or even declining a little bit while the case numbers go up. And I see the media only talking about the case numbers going up. I want to kind of point out that from a logical standpoint, that's good news, because it means that the virus is less lethal. And I do believe that anybody that gets this, obviously it's a different situation if you're in a high risk category, like my wife who has lupus, or somebody that's really elderly. But just based on what I'm seeing, and honestly, since we talked, my very best friend in the whole world, Andy Hughes, tested positive and came down with a fairly wicked case of COVID. He felt like hell, and he's the most positive guy in the world. And 4 days into his diagnosis, I talked to him. He really was having a hard time breathing. He said, I feel like I've been hit by a truck, and Maddie, I don't know if I'm going to make it out of this. And I talked to him and I asked him, because I've heard different things about catching this early, and the doctor was just talking about even, a little bit later on. But from the doctors I've talked to, you want to catch this early as you can. And he was, I mentioned the idea of the hydroxychloroquine and zinc situation. And he has kind of like a concierge doctor. So he called his concierge doc, and the doctor told him that basically doctors have been really dissuaded from prescribing the Plaquenil, and I don't know if they've threatened them or something like that, but bottom line is he had psoriatic arthritis, so he had it prescribed to him. And I talked to him a day and a half later, and I called him up and I was checking in with him, and he's like, "Hey Matt, how you doing?" I said, "Oh, you're kidding. You sound like a completely different human." He said, "I felt it working right away. I don't know why, and I don't know if it was a placebo effect or whatever, but thank God he got through it. He's feeling a little dodgy for a couple of days, but again, he started early, and I've heard things about, I think the doctor was talking about the steroid with the nebulizer treatments and stuff like that. I think we were talking about that last time, maybe we weren't, but the bottom line is I see people really, depending on what the algorithm and the social media that they watch, how they deal with this, and fear has taken over this country in a way that I've never seen before. And I just really think it's tragic. The bottom line is there are great doctors out there, like the one that's on right now, that are looking to treat people and help people and get them over this. But the reality of it is, in this country, you have a very, very good chance of recovering from this completely. And it might get bad. It might be really mild. I've had it very mildly, but it depends on a lot of different factors. And all I can say is it's not, what he said is the best thing. It's not necessarily a death sentence. It's not. They're really coming a long way with treatments. And for me, I'm going to be on. I'm one of those guys that I'm going to wait and see whatever vaccine they come up with, does, because I personally don't want to grow a third arm.
Yeah.
You know, although that would be handy in my job.
Exactly.
In my personal life.
It could really take the career to take off, actually.
Yeah,
You know?
well, it'd be fun in my personal life too, you know. But I'm just
exactly,
saying,
yeah.
yeah. But I love talking to doctors and getting their points on stuff. I was just kind of sharing that experience. And my wife with lupus is on a course of Plaquenil. It's on the hydroxychloroquine. And for me, what I think is disingenuous is the amount of hate that hydroxychloroquine got, even though it's been used for 70 years, it costs $3. And the study that they were citing right away, well, when you give somebody 200 times the dosage, it's going to toxify people. It's going to hurt people. And I just, I guess what I'm saying is I'm always going to be a little bit reticent to trust, doctors that told us when this whole thing started, oh, this jumped naturally from an animal to, that's what a virus does. It mutates. But according to the law, as far as patents are concerned, and I deal with those a lot just in my business, you can't patent something that naturally occurs. It's illegal. And this virus has patents on it. So that right there just kind of makes me go, oh, well, this sucks. Somebody engineered this to hurt a lot of people. And we are where we are right now. We got to put the genie back in the bottle. I don't think the answer is everybody being afraid, locking themselves up, locking up the country, locking up the world, when realistically speaking, it's a serious virus. You got to respect it. But, there aren't bodies lying around the street. I haven't seen things like hospitals being overrun like we were all told when this whole thing started. I have doctor friends in Los Angeles that say they have tons of empty beds. And that might be because people are afraid to go to the hospital, to be honest with you. But
that's exactly true.
I think right now we're kind of, fortunately, at this moment, kind of on the other side of it. And I trust this doctor a whole lot more than what I'm seeing on television from the
Well, we can't. I hate to play the bad
wait,
guy.
hold on. Somebody's knocking on. Wait, Corey, hold
That's
on.
a false claim.
Hold on. I gotta mute Corey for a second. Somebody's knocking on my door. Wait,
Uh-oh.
hold on, guys. There's a guest knocking on. I love muting Corey just for no reason. It's just he's so ridiculous. It's hold on. I got a friend knocking on the door. Hold on, you guys. Who is it? Jack is back. Ladies and gentlemen, our friend, Jack Douglas. How are you doing, Jack? Welcome, my friend.
I'm good. I'm out here, and I couldn't get on my computer. You said the site can't be reached.
Oh, so, everybody's having problems,
Yeah.
But you hear me, right?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm on my phone.
Oh, you're on your phone? Okay. Are you holding it? I don't want you to be stuck holding with my... Are you okay? Can you lean it somewhere? Get comfortable, Jack. Come on in.
Let's see if the dog will hold it for you.
Hold on.
I'm good.
All right.
It's okay.
All right. Jack. All right. Yeah. So it's good to see you. I got a couple of friends.
What happened to the guy that was just on?
Hold on. I'm going to introduce you. You walked in my house. Hold on a second. I'm going to introduce you to everybody. Come in. Just come on. Leave your pants on, Jack. Come on. Let's come inside. Come on. All right. Sit down. Let's make believe you're in my house. We're going to have a little Entenmann's cake. You have any coffee, Jack? Anything? You're okay? You do? What are you drinking? Right, what are you drinking there?
Oh, I'm out in Montauk, so I'm drinking Hampton's coffee.
I never had that. How is that?
It's very good.
I never had. Are you a hardcore coffee guy or not?
No,
whatever. No,
a cup a day.
All right. We're gonna talk to the guys. We're gonna have a good time. All right, hold on. I'm gonna introduce you. My buddy Matthew Nelson from the Nelson Brothers. It's his birthday tomorrow, and I'm gonna introduce you. This is Matthew. Matthew, that's my friend Jack.
Jack Douglas. It is a pleasure meeting you, sir. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
I love
see,
talking to genius. That means you too, Adika. But
well, thank you. And we got Corey too. So I want to introduce you guys. And
where's Corey?
He's over here. Check him out. Hold on. And Corey, Jack's asking for you.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, say hi, Corey.
Jack, thank you for putting up with. I really hacked this guy China on Facebook. I Jewish guilted the hell out of him to come on.
Me feel Jack. What, the first time or the second time?
No, the first time.
Okay, Jack, I got to tell you something. Now that we're all friends, we got to know each other. And I got the doctor here, and we got Oive. We got the whole family here, Jack. Jack, I got to tell you something really quick. Last time you're on this show, we left the show abruptly, and then I felt like, oh my God, Jack's never going to talk to me again, because we got so into the interview and it brought us chills back to a terrible day. I didn't want to go there again. And then I'm neurotic Jewish guy, so I'm like, I don't know how to handle it, because I was getting chills and I was getting sensitive. And I go, all right, Jack,
I don't think you wanted to cry. I think that's it. I think Stefan didn't want to cry, so he ended the show.
I ended the show. Matthew, had Jack on the show, and I ended the show abruptly. And I felt like, oh my God, I wanted to cry. I'm getting chills now. And I go, all right, well, Jack, you're busy now. See you later. Goodbye. And that was it. And I was like, uh-oh, I think I just offended Jack. And then when I wrote back, I thought I upset you. And we started the show out. You said, didn't we meet before? And you tried to be, and I was like, oh God. So anyway, I was so happy that when I emailed you back, I go, oh. So I went to Corey. I go, hey, have you heard from Jack? And he goes, no. And I go, well, he wrote me back, my friend now. So I'm just, I love you,
Stefan tried
Jack.
to beat Jack up 30 years ago.
No, I didn't. The guys in the band, Matthew, the guys in Slash's band tried to stir up Jack. And then Jack took the joke and ran with it. Because I had an ex-wife there was an ex-wife. And she, any guy's going to look at her. She's the ex-wife. Then Jack's laughing. But long story short, Jack.
She was also the receptionist. She worked behind the desk at the hotel that I stayed at in L.A.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
La Park
Hotel. So I go to Jack on the phone, Matt. I go, you remember me? And he's looking like it. I go, come closer. Do you remember? And he's looking. Didn't you have this one he did Slash's Snakepit record, and he's looking at me and he's like, didn't you try? So the guys in the band tried to goof on Jack. Go, oh, Stefan's gonna get you because you're looking at his wife. Didn't you try to beat me up or something? Because we played Slim Jim's Club on Thursday, and Jack would come in. And I'm like, no. So Corey's down there in the backstage. He's like, no. He's freaking out, Corey. And I'm like, live. And it was the best show ever. Like this, it goes nowhere. But we got Jack here, a legend. I got Matthew Nelson here, another legend.
I'm a lit.
No, you're
in training. I'm not. Jack Douglas is a legend. I'm a legend. Okay,
so,
no. The Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot. That's a legend. I'm not in that category.
A myth. There's a difference.
This is a lot of fun to have both you guys here. And you know what? This is a birthday present for Matthew, from me to Matthew. I'm sure there's a lot of questions and studio questions you'd love to ask Jack. But Jack is also doing something special, and I want to tell everybody to go to this rock camp. We got tomorrow. The Nelsons are having their birthday tomorrow, Sunday, but you could buy tickets at meethook.live/Nelson1 right there. And then also for Jack, you are doing, Jack, the rock camp Monday. I believe.
Rock and roll fantasy camp. Yeah.
The rock and roll fantasy.
You're doing that. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing that Monday, September
8
21st.
o'clock Monday night.
Right there. And those are the tickets where you could go. You could get at rockcamp.com and actually talk with Jack about your techniques and your studio work, huh, Jack? They
want to. Whatever, you want to ask me like things, more like how long does it take Steven Tyler to pee when he goes to the bathroom because he was in there so long? Those kinds of any kind of questions you have for me. I'll be honest.
Anything.
Hey Jack, here's something. He wasn't just peeing.
Anything. And if you want to talk about the time when Jack met Stefan, he'll be happy to talk about it. It's a big stories. Everybody wants to know. So rockcamp.com, September 20. Any stories you want to tell about me, Jack? Feel free. You got my permission.
Okay.
So let's
I thought today we were going to talk about what I mentioned to you was, a long time ago, the music business was run by gangsters out of New York and a few in LA. And what we call that the good old days. It was more like the Wild West. It was way more fun than it is now, in a sense. But I thought we would talk about that. And
let's do it. I love it.
Some of the names you probably know. Morris Levy. You know that name?
Oh yeah.
John Lennon had to appease him for the "You Can't Catch Me." Yeah.
I can tell you a great. Morris Levy ran Roulette Records. Morris's name was on every record as a composer. I mean, he was the bodyguard, doorman at Birdland, and he actually beat a man to death at Birdland, but got off on self-defense or whatever. He was really a terrible guy. He was well known for, records going out the back door of the warehouse, and not that Ahmed wasn't, but Ahmed wasn't.
Ahmed
Ahmed
Erdogan, the founder of Atlantic Records.
Ahmed stories too. But anyway, back to this. Since we mentioned John and Morris, John had done the rock and roll album, and I was out there while he was doing it, and I was producing Alice Cooper at Sunset Sound, and John was over at A&M doing the rock and roll album with a really out of control Phil Spector. And so anyway, they managed to finish the album. I think Roy Sakal had a lot to do with getting it done finally. And so I was back in New York mixing Alice's album, and John came in to see me and he said, guess what? The album's finished. The rock and roll album is finished. I have a rough of it, and you're not going to believe this, he said, but I'm going up to Morris's farm this weekend and to play him. These are all songs that he's published. He was on some of them. He was the writer, and I was like, "Yeah, right." Like he gave you $1,000 and you sold the song to him. He got all the publishing. He got everything. He flushed you away if you had anything to do with the song. But he said, "I'm going up to Morris's to play him the record. I have a 7-inch or 5-inch reel with everything on it, a 7.5." So I said to him, "John, okay." He was a hero of John's because the Beatles read credits and didn't realize who they were, what this guy was. But I said to John, whatever you do, play him, make sure you play it for him. And, while you're in the room, play him the tapes and be sure to take it with you when you leave.
Right.
Don't, for no reason, you cannot leave this up at Morris's. Why? No. Just trust me. Really, you don't want this thing to, be heard by the wrong people or whatever. So he agreed that he wouldn't do it. I saw him the following week after he had spent the weekend up at Morris's, and I said to him, "So how did Morris like the rock and roll album?" He said, I kept badgering him to listen to it. But he said he didn't have time, so I left it with him.
Oh.
The week after that, there were ads on TV. Adam 8 Records.
Adam 8.
Adam was his son, and it was John Lennon sings hits of the 50s and 60s, and Morris put it out, sold it on television.
Oh wow!
His argument was because Lennon had taken "You Can't Come Together" from "You Can't Catch Me," that he owed him. So he thought that he argued that Lennon left him the tape in repayment of the debt.
Yeah, right. I mean, it took him I think 2 or 3 weeks to injunct it, and it had already sold like a few 100,000 copies by the time they got it back. John, you would have thought that John would have learned his lesson with Alan.
Alan Klein. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what did John say when he saw it on TV? Did he call you up and say anything?
He was very sheepish when he was very sheepish. The thing was, he trusted some people that he shouldn't have trusted.
Yeah, wow.
But going back to when I started as a musician in the business, my managers were a couple of songwriter producer guys. I can't even remember their names. But they were in the Brill Building, so I was in the Brill Building all the time. This is 65 or 66, after I got back from Liverpool. And they were real, and they were shysters, and they were in bed with people like Neil. We started Casablanca.
Neil Bogart.
Neil Bogart, yeah,
Yeah.
and Artie Rip,
Mhm.
and as a matter, speaking of Artie Rip, I cut Billy Joel's demos for Columbia Records, which Artie Rip. Artie brought Billy into the studio, and it was just Billy and piano, and I cut all these great tunes, just Billy singing and piano demos, 4-track, or maybe it was even 2-track. And Artie was in the room, and he was saying to me, "This kid's great, isn't he?" I said, "Yeah, he sounds a little bit like Paul." I said, "But I've seen Billy in the Hassles, playing out on Long Island. I see him a lot out there." And I said, "But this is really different. It's really good." Anyway, so Billy came back in the room. Artie had him sign that 5% deal. The deal was Artie brought him in to do the demos, and his payment was 5% of pretty much for life of his publishing. Not a bad deal.
Mhm.
I think Artie Rip is still up in the Hollywood Hills.
Billy Joel trusted a lot of people he shouldn't have trusted either, including his ex-father-in-law,
Yeah, like his
who
wife.
continued. Yeah.
So
I wanted to ask you about
going
something
back-
that. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go
Something-
ahead, ask.
Something that I just learned about you that I didn't even know until now was that you engineered the Who's Lifehouse that never came out. Now, this was supposed to be Pete Townshend's third great rock opera following Tommy and Quadrophenia, but he just scrapped it in the middle of this process with all these great songs, Love Rain on Me, all of these amazing songs that we know, because he put them out on future albums. But this was all supposed to be part of a rock opera.
Yeah, but
what
it
happened?
It came out on the Who's Next album. Almost everything I recorded was on the Who's Next album. Re-recorded in London, and I think some of the basic tracks were used that we recorded. But I have to tell you, I had such a blast, and I became very good friends with Pete Townsend. But it was so much fun to work with those guys, and I was a kid. I ran into Pete maybe 2 years ago at SAR. He had this girl Hillary he was promoting to Doug Morris, and I ran into him, and Pete introduced me to this girl that he was producing, and he said, "This is Jack Douglas. We made him famous a million years ago." Although that, because it didn't come out until he did an interview on some magazine where it said the cast of characters, and there was a picture of everybody in the band and a picture of me. And I, up until that point, I had never even said I worked with who. But after that, I said, okay, he wants to say I did. But it was great. They were completely nuts in the studio and after the studio. Like, we would go out after the sessions, like at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. We would all pile into cars and limos and go to clubs. It was a blast. But I think a lot of those tracks. I mean, the first track I recorded with them was "Won't Get Fooled Again." And I brought Leslie West into the room. Leslie was he was recording in we were in A. Leslie was in B at Record Plant. Leslie was a big Who fan, and I had worked with Leslie on Nantucket Sleigh Ride, I think it was.
Mountain, yeah.
So we were friends, and I knew Leslie from the Vagrants when they were the house band at the Rolling Stone Club on the east side of Manhattan. So
Uh-oh, we're starting to lose you, Jack.
No, it's all right. I think we listen. These stories, Matt. How about this for a birthday present? I could just sit here quiet and watch the whole thing.
Well, I'm just in awe of Jack Douglas and people like Jack that were making rock and roll without any rules whatsoever. I mean, my dad told me that when
we're back. I'm sorry, Matthew. Jack, well, hold on. Let me make sure I don't lose you. Hold on one second. Jack, you hear me okay? I think he's on a little problems with his internet. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Well, he's off on Nantucket right now, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he could hear us now. But I was just telling Matthew, because your stories are incredible, and me and Matthew are just sitting here like two little kids listening to these stories, and I have nothing to say but just to listen. And Matthew, I just interrupted you. Sorry, but you were saying.
No, I was just saying that I'm in awe of Jack and people like Jack. I've never had the pleasure or honor of working with Jack, but working with people like the late Keith Olsen and John Boylan, who's still around, and hearing these types of stories, making this music.
You're
really
in
when
the
there were no
show.
rules, and I love hearing the stories from
We
the
hear
East Coast.
we hear you, Jack. I'm sorry, Matthew.
Yeah.
I got you.
We got two
We got
Jacks.
twice.
There.
Yes.
Okay, now it's
We got two
good.
Jacks.
You got
Okay.
Jack off.
Okay.
Did we got?
Okay.
Jack hears us. He
Okay.
hears us.
You there?
Yeah, we hear you, Jack.
I look frozen.
It's okay. It's okay. You. I could hold a picture of you and just listen to your stories. It's just the best storytelling
All right, so
time
I'm
for
going to tell you, we used to go out, and we're talking about the Who. So we would go out after we recorded, and we would go to the Hotel Navarro, which was on Central Park South, and they had the whole 9th floor of the Navarro. I guess they gave them the 9th floor. It was a small hotel, so there were maybe 6 rooms on a floor. So whatever damage they did was contained to one floor. The 2 front suites facing Central Park, one was Keith Moon's and the other one was Pete Townsend's. And everybody would meet in Pete's room. So the way Keith came into Pete's room was he would open the window in his suite, climb out on the ledge, and crawl across the ledge. This is 9 stories above, Central Park South. Climb across the ledge, open Pete's window, and climb in. And the only person that was ever shocked by his entrance was me. Everybody else was like, "Hey, Pete." Hey, Keith, how you doing? Okay, let's go. No one thought that was weird. Only me. I thought, oh my, that was like only maybe 2 feet.
Oh,
God, we love the internet. God,
Too bad.
you know what, Matthew? I am like, I gotta admit to you, man. I am being like a fanboy right now. I get it now, Oive, would do the Kiss stuff because this stuff is just incredible. He's coming back. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody out there, but
Yes.
He's
not
out on
apologizing.
the- on the
Not
island.
apologizing to you, Matt.
We're the sideshow. Let's get him back.
Matt, this is great. Let's get him back, Matt.
Yeah,
I'm like,
absolutely. Whatever it
let's get-
takes.
whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever. Okay, Jack, we're here. We see you.
Yeah.
You hear us? Okay. Sorry about the internet. It's
Yeah. I wonder if I'm out here at the end of the world
mm-hmm.
in Montauk. Could be that the Wi-Fi. I certainly don't have any. I have a 1 bar of phone service.
Oh, you do.
Anyway,
You
that
do.
was and then Pete used to send me letters, he used to send me these great letters and send me demos. I wish I still had them. He was really cool. Kit Lambert produced those sessions. Am I there? You still here?
yeah, you're here.
Yeah, you're here. We're just listening, enjoying every second of this.
Oh,
This is like a Alfred
Sucks.
Hitchcock movie. It's so suspenseful. You want
Here's a Latin term.
No, right?
Yeah.
God, his internet. It's because he has the one bar and he's having a problem with the internet and he couldn't get the hard drive on the computer because you have to be on.
Hey, Stefan, he mentioned that when he tried to come on at first, it said was having problems accessing the site. That happened to me, but I think when you switch over to Chrome, it made a difference. I don't know.
It's
if
coming back 1 second. Okay, let me do this. Let me, gentlemen, Oive, doctor, hold on 1 second. Let me just get Jack in here. I'm gonna put you guys backstage a second. Hold on. Let's see. This way it's easy. Okay, here's Jack.
You got me?
Jack, I got you.
All right.
You okay?
I'm out on the deck. I want to see if it's any better out here. I don't know.
Oh, let's see that. Look at the beautiful weather out there. Looks nice.
Are you at the Memory Motel?
No, we have a house out here, a beach house.
That looks nice out there. I got nice weather.
It is. Anyway,
Look at this
Kid
field
Lambert,
trip with Jack Douglas. I love it.
Kit Lambert was the producer of those sessions. Kit's father was a famous orchestra conductor in London, and so Kit, as a producer, was more like a conductor. He would conduct the band. He'd go out and conduct the band, which is pretty hilarious. Or he would be working the lights. We had a lot of colored lights in Studio A. So he would be, okay, the mood for this one is red and the mood is blue. He would be doing that kind of thing. And he was a hardcore pillhead. And so at the end, whatever drugs he gets hands on. Am I still there?
Yeah, you're here.
You're
here. Oh yeah, we love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the session, back in the day, in the early 70s, it was always appreciated if the producer gave you a tip. Bob Ezrin was very generous. You would usually get a trip to Jamaica, all expenses paid, things like that. But Kit Lambert gave me an ounce of blow. And in a baggie. He said, "Here you are. Here's your tip." Cracked me up.
I have another question. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Aerosmith cleaned up and had their resurgence in the 1980s, they sort of shit-talked a lot of their early work with you because it was all drug-induced and all that stuff. Sweet Emotion, for just that one song, I mean, it's so brilliant the way it was produced. How much of that was you? And did you ever feel kind of slagged when they came back and kind of dismissed the early 70s stuff as not as good as their 80s stuff?
Well, obviously, their 70s stuff is the stuff that is most popular with with their fan base everywhere. They know it. Now, in the 80s, when they came back after being in drug-induced comas for some time, they got a manager who took over a lot of their headspace, and they had to disavow anything that had to do with drugs. So they were almost hypnotized by this guy. But the idea of this guy was to get them straight. See, this was what was going to work. This was what was going to get them straight. So, in the early 80s, when they just had to disavow anything that was done that might have been under the influence of drugs. Sweet Emotion. Look at during Get Your Wings and Toys in the Attic, because there wasn't that much drug stuff going on. During Rocks, maybe a little bit more, but again, I would say the drugs were working, and you have to realize you have to I mean, there was no heroin going on, so there was some coke. Everybody was doing coke. Coke was part of Columbia's budget. When you did a record for Columbia, a guy from Columbia Records brought you your coke. And the reason for that was if you could stay in the studio all night and work, you cut down the cost of a record.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
So, look they got busted. Clive, he just survived by the hair on his chin. It was, guys went down because of the coke that was inflating was in the budgets.
It was in the
and
budget.
was being delivered to us. So it was like, 1970, the early 70s, mid 70s through the 70s, coke was considered okay. It was, kind of like where pot is now.
Wow.
So, like Jay Messina and I, we didn't do much. We didn't do many drugs until after a session was over. We would smoke a joint and listen to. After everybody left, we would sit and enjoy what we had done, get high on pot. But to actually do a session high on pot was to make you think it was much better than it really was. So we were always straight. Sometimes we would drop acid after a session, or do mescaline or something. But so during rocks, there started to be more recreational drugs, but for the most part, while we were working, I mean, we were diligent. The guys showed up on time. We were working at a warehouse. We were recording in a warehouse. Nobody was fucking up. Then after Rocks, which was very successful, the band got into some heavier shit, and by the time we got to Draw the Line, it was a shitstorm. And it was a shitstorm after that as well.
Right there, Jack. You're gonna give the doctor a heart attack. George says. We got the doctor over here. Doctor, you ever had those late night sessions studying the books on cocaine? No.
Can't say is that really what
mescaline?
No, sorry. Yeah, it was pretty much the hardest I ever went was like Vivarin. I was. That's a caffeine
were doing mushrooms. After the session, Jay and I would go out sometimes and hit the streets of New York until like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning on mushrooms or mescaline or small doses of LSD.
Yeah.
We loved it. We'd roam Times Square. It was crazy.
Oh my God. It was the business, everything. It was just a different era.
To see a show of The Exorcist on acid.
Oh my God!
Wow,
really, Jack? Wait, hold on, Jack.
That's ballsy.
That's ballsy.
Yes.
Jack, take me to that experience. Can you recall that experience? The Exorcist on. Tell me that story.
Well, we went to see The Exorcist on acid. We thought it was a comedy.
wow.
We
hell?
were screaming, we were laughing.
Record producers, I love you, man.
Look, our heads going around in circles. Look at them floating above the bed. Wow.
That's great. I mean, Jack, when you see The Exorcist now on the reruns, would you watch it? Do you get like flashbacks? Wait a second.
No. The
That's
first
funny.
thing we do when we get out to Montauk is we watch Jaws.
Yeah,
in case I get tempted by it. It just feels right. I'm going to spend this Sunday out fishing. I'm going to go out pretty far and catch some stripers. Come back and barbecue them.
Oh, really? How big are those stripers around right now?
They should be over 30 inches.
Really?
Yeah. 40 pounds.
How are you cooking them, Jack? What do you do?
I have a barbecue.
You do it? You ever do the wood plank with it?
No, it sounds good.
You know what, Jack? Here, watch this. Jack, from this show is great. From acid tripping to exorcist to cooking with Adika. Check this out.
Yeah.
If you guys like cooking, Jack,
Yeah.
I have the tips. I know what to do.
Send it to me.
I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you what to do. You have an old the skillet. You know, the iron cast pan.
Let me
Oh,
ask.
you
Hey,
need
Chris?
you need one of
Do we have
those.
an iron cast pan here? We do.
You do? Jack, I'm gonna send you some recipes what Adika does, and you'll lose your mind with a little olive oil and red wine in the pan.
Okay.
And you get it caramelized and you put the fish on it, you will lose
Got
your
it.
mind. Cooking tips from Adika. All right, back to Jack Douglas and his music.
And some special mushrooms. Don't forget.
Wow,
Yes.
we're gonna get some cooking. We're gonna get some
Such LSD,
tips
some
for
cocaine, and the iron skillet.
Yeah, yeah. You get some
Yeah.
cooking tips over there. Jack, you know what, Jack? I gotta tell you something. You are such a wonderful treat to come on my show and our show, and oh my God, we love you. We love you. I could go on and on with this, Jack. You're the best. You're the best. Matthew, take.
Well, I tell you what, I have
right.
Next time, listen, I have to leave because I have to do some stuff.
Yeah.
And next time, I really want to talk about the early '60s because I was the bass player in Chuck Berry's band.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Let's
No
do
way.
that.
So and then as an artist, the Isley Brothers were my producers. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff I'd like to talk about from
Jack
back in that day. But we'll do this again.
Yes, Jack.
Okay.
We will do this again. Right before you go, I want to tell everybody really quick. Monday, September 21st. The ticket is down below. 8 p.m. You get the tickets. Rockcamp.com. If you want to hear more stories from Jack, just like you heard today, check it out. Jack, I will email you the cooking tips from Adika. Not tits, but tips. I'll send you a picture of my ex's tits. I don't care. I love you, Jack. Thank you for being here with us.
See you guys.
All right. Bye, Jack.
Bye.
Have a good day, man.
Douglas, everybody. What a great guy. Matthew.
Yeah.
We're going to
Come
need
on.
a bigger boat. I mean, that's an awful lot. That guy.
Right.
I can't name anyone short of maybe. No, I can't name anyone that's done more in rock and roll than he has. When you're talking about legendary groups, there's not
From
one
that,
through
you're
line.
absolutely right. I love talking to record producers, and if I don't know if he would even talk tech stuff, because Gunnar and I are kind of into vintage recording gear and things like that, and studios and the legend of stuff. I mean, I'm fortunate I got to work at some of the great studios in my past. I guarantee that just talking to him and even, getting one trick, here's the Jack Douglas trick or something with a vocal would be amazing. But I'm ignorant to this. I don't know if he's written any books. The thing about these amazing record producers, and we just lost Keith Olsen,
Mm-hmm.
The stories that Keith told me were like this. It was just a nonstop litany of just amazing things. I mean, Dave Grohl did a great job with his movie on Sound City, where Keith kind of worked primarily that and Goodnight LA. But the stories from these guys, they have to. I mean, I'm really glad you have this show because somebody kind of typed in that you're documenting all these great stories from these legendary guys. I mean, I'd like to reach out to John Boylan and get him on here just to talk about all the artists that he worked with too. For years, these guys were behind all of this. He's talking about these bands and these songs and stuff like that. That's literally the soundtrack of my life and everybody's life that's listening. And things have changed now in the business. Obviously with streaming and things like that, songwriters have been their importance has kind of been diminished, so they're not really being paid as much anymore. And record producers who used to get points on records, same thing. Nobody's buying records anymore. So I just think it's a tragedy. But Jack seems like he's remarkably sharp and together, and he's on Montauk and going striper fishing. God bless him.
God bless him. God bless him.
That's a big win.
It is a big win.
Hey, Matt, I wasn't aware that we lost Keith. When did that happen?
A little while ago, a few months ago.
A few months ago.
Yeah, he had a pretty tough last year of his life. I lost touch with him. He worked with a band, my side project, Red 37, and we kind of parted ways. And all I could say was, these guys are geniuses. They really are. The way that they work with sound and a lot of them, it seems like it was really a consistent thing. They were very fueled on Colombian powder, and that's just how it was. I mean, I saw somebody type in saying, I wonder what Matt thinks about all the drug taking. Look, I was around it my whole life. It's not that I partook. I had a really great bad example in my life about what cocaine can do to a family and to people. Back when they were saying, oh, it's the perfect drug, it's all natural. That was the 70s, and I grew up around it, and was always around my house and my dad and stuff like that. Not that it defined him, but it was enough to where I think it directed certain things. It's funny, he was talking about, I remember Keith Moon being in my house. He was friends with my dad.
Wow.
And stuff.
Wow.
And he was funny as hell. I remember I was being a kid. He was always joking around. He was always just not taking things too seriously. And, not a lot of these guys made it out of there alive, quite literally. So for Jack Douglas to not only make these incredible records, but to serve, it was a survival sport.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is it's a footnote, because I was talking to him about Lifehouse, and I thought he said that a lot of the same tracks were used. That guy recorded "Won't Get Fooled Again," and it was a footnote to his. It was a.
I didn't. You know what? I didn't even realize it, or maybe I forgot that he did "Won't Get Fooled."
We all know that he recorded "Imagine." We all know that he was there for the classic Aerosmith "Cheap Trick." He recorded "Won't Get Fooled Again."
I know.
I didn't even know that.
There's so many things I wanted to ask him. I didn't want to interrupt. I wanted to ask him if he ever came across your father, and down the.
I don't know. See, the thing is, when he started talking about wanting to discuss the early stuff when he was a player with Chuck Berry, that really piqued my interest. Not that the other stuff doesn't, because as I said, I hail the guy.
It's the Chuck Berry thing. I want to really go deep on that now. What it was like.
And the thing is, my pop knew Chuck Berry and stuff, and there are so many stories I wanted to ask him about. But from his days as a player, and he started talking about the different, mob element and certain things. We were a West Coast family, even though the family was from, born and raised in New Jersey. My dad was a little kid when they moved out to Hollywood for the Ozzie and Harriet show, and then of course later on started making records when he was 16. And there were no record producers, like, at all. I went through the tapes, and my dad told me before he died, we didn't have record producers because we were just making it up. And, the closest to that was listening to my grandfather through the control room glass, because he had a big band in the 30s and 40s. And so he was kind of living vicariously through our dad. And they had a great little team there making those records. But the record producers kind of came in to keep the budgets happening and keep records coming in cheaply. Really, it was more of like a babysitter type of a thing for the most part. But guys like Jack Douglas, who started as musicians and then realized that there were better ways of making records and just found himself. What stories? It's kind of magical. I love this stuff. I love talking to guys like this that were there.
I can't wait to hear him talk about Chuck Berry too, because he was such a freak. Not even talking about putting the cameras in the bathrooms. Not even talking about that. He used to, for his shows, he used to grill meat outside for the people online waiting to get in, and then sell the meat to them, because he was all about the money.
My Chuck Berry. I used to have it was later. It was Let the Good Times Roll. It was a movie. It was a double album. But Chuck's. And I remember got the records on Bell Records, and it was a kid. And Bo Diddley. It opened up. It was like silver. Danny and the Juniors. It was great. But I was bummed out. Chuck wasn't on the album. Little Rich, the Shirelles. It was great, but Chuck wasn't on it. I guess he wouldn't sign his rights up. But Let the Good Times. I got to get that on vinyl. I'm trying to get all the records I had on vinyl back. And you know what, Matthew? I am so honored that you're even here, that you even gave us the time. It was so hard at first to get you, and I'm so happy that we became friends. And Jack.
I love this. Let's make this a thing. I get to listen to Jack Douglas stories. Are you kidding?
You're coming back with Jack. When I get you, I'm going to let you coming back.
Jack.
I'd love to. I'd love to kind of compare the East Coast, West Coast early days, because obviously they were, there was always the music business was a profiteer run business, post World War II kind of thing, guys with jukeboxes, and there was a lot of that. I'm trying to figure out how my grandfather navigated that, and it must have been his big band days in New York and New Jersey and all that stuff. I mean, he knew those guys, but they kind of he had to say hi once in a while, but they pretty much left him alone. I wish my grandfather were here to talk to him about that stuff.
There's so many stories about your grandfather, man, that probably people don't even know about his whole story, the music on the East Coast, before Ozzy and Harry.
Are you talking about Ozzy?
Yeah, before, right? There's a whole, that's a whole other show if we could get into.
Harriet was his singer. He hired Harriet Hilliard. She was a bigger deal than he was, and it's weird to say that my grandma was a babe, but she was, and she literally grew. She was singing at the Cotton Club when she was 16.
Really?
Wow. And they kind of teamed up, and they didn't date for a while, but he definitely hired her to bring the guys to the shows, and they had a thing going. He was a smart dude. But
do you have pictures from her back in the day from you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're all over the internet. All you have to look up is Harriet Hilliard, and you'll see she was, and then they had a radio show that was on the Red Skelton. I guess he was a big deal at the time. He saw them doing their bit live, and their comedy during their set kind of started to get longer and longer, and the songs shorter and shorter. And he had them on the radio show. They were really popular. Universal said, "Hey, let's see if you translate to film," and they did a movie called Here Come the Nelsons, which was successful. And then this little thing called television kind of happened. So 1950, I think it was late 51 or 52 is when the show aired, and it did 435 episodes on TV for 14 years.
Wow.
And they actually, for the first 3 years, and by the way, Ozzy wrote, produced, edited, directed, and starred in all 435 episodes of the show. So,
well, I've just called it up, Matt, and I'm confirming, yes, your grandmother was a hottie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Corey, there he goes.
Just when you think Corey can't get weirder, you go.
Yeah, Corey, there it is.
If you could pull your tooth out and say that again, I would really appreciate it.
Grandma was big. The thing about her, though, that when you have people like Jack Douglas, these people that have been there and done that, and basically utilized a minimum of technology. Yeah. I remember hanging out with my grandmother. It was a couple of years. She was there, thank God, for our big rise and stuff. And we were making our second album, and it was taking a while for a lot of reasons. And she just very flatly asked me, "So what's taking so long with your album?" And I said, "Well, Grandma, we've got to do overdubs and this and that and the next thing." And I just in frustration said, "Well, how long would it take you guys to make an album?" Mm-hmm. She said, 3 hours. I said, 3 hours. She said, "Yeah." I said, "How many sides?" She said, 14. And they would go in there and set up the big band, set up her microphone, do the whole thing, get the arrangement right, get the mic placement right, and they would cut it. And that was it. And then they'd go and they'd play live shows. And that's how they did it there. But it was really great to keep it definitely straightened me out about humility. It's those people that didn't have the technology had to throw down. When my pop started, they didn't have I think if you had 4 tracks, that was amazing, but mostly you had a band track and a lead vocal track. That was it.
Wow, that was it.
So all those great records, I love the stories from the people that were there at the very, very beginnings and had to figure it out. Relatively now you've got computers that quite literally fix everything, move every beat, can change a vocal, hey, you don't like this arrangement, great, we can cut it up and move it around. You didn't have any of that stuff. So nothing but mad respect for guys like Jack Douglas.
Yeah, nothing but mad respect. And you know what, Matt, I got to go to kindergarten. That's it. I got to go online kindergarten now from Jack Douglas and Matthew Nelson. Man.
I do too, actually.
You got to do too. So we're going to do this really quick before me and Matt go back to school in these crazy days. Dr. G, I'm sorry if I cut you off. It was so chaotic. I'm sorry. I love you. You're the best.
Much
but now
stories. We
got Matthew. He's a family coffee talker back. Thank you, Matthew. Jack Douglas, really quick. It's your birthday. Meathook.live Nelson 1. Go celebrate with the Nelsons Sunday. Meathook.live/Nelson 1. Also, I don't know if you know about this. Saturday night, we got our Talking Wax show, Vinyl versus Vinyl. Producer Ed Stasian, who did the Ramones. He did Talking Heads. He worked Glass Night and the Pips. He's taken 5 of his vinyls, versus Rachel Boland's vinyl from Skid Row. It's going to be live. Mark Slaughter is going to be over there on the banter. Our friend Mark Slaughter, who wrote the theme song for Talking Wax. It's going to be fun. Got to get you on, man.
I would love to.
We got to get you. Who would you like to play vinyl? Who do you think you could? How about you? Does your brother have vinyl?
Gunnar actually does. He's really into it. I'm talking like old school 70s tube amplifiers and the whole deal. So
I'm talking maybe you versus him, or maybe you.
I love to kick his ass any chance I get in a loving way.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
There you go.
I love you, Matt. Happy birthday to you and Gunnar. You're a brother to me. I thank you for being part of the family. Jack Douglas, everybody. I'm gonna put quick banners before we sign out of here, because before we go, I'm sorry, my wife's not here to help me out. Everybody, this is where you could see the Nelson guys for their one night only, the celebration, the virtual birthday. Meethook.live/Nelson1. It's gonna be Sunday, September 20th. Get your tickets now. Tell them Adika sent you. What the hell? I just like adding that in there.
Why not?
Why not, right? And then we get the fabulous Jack Douglas. Monday, check him on rockcamp.com. I got the band banner in here, but it's there. The links are going to be here, and that's where you could get Jack's tickets, rockcamp.com. On that note, everybody, I need my wife to get me out of here so I'm professional. On that note, I want you guys to have a great weekend. Remember, beware of Corey. He loves you. On that note, we're going to sign out of here quick. Matt, we'll chat later. I love you.
All you guys. Hope to see you again. God bless.
Great Friday with you, brother. Thank you. We're out of here, everybody. Everybody like it, subscribe to it. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow on Talking Wax. Mwah. Dr. G loves you. Middle Path Medical. We love you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
It's coffee talk with Adika. Nothing rhymes with that but chicken tikka. We name drop here with Stefan and all his friends.
That's all, folks. Like, subscribe. You never know what's happening with us, guys. We'll see you later.